Mr. Cameron, will we give a roll call, please?
Mr. Smith? Here. Mr. Barrett? Here. Mr. Miller?
Here.
And Mr. President?
Here.
There is a quorum ready to conduct business.
First item is the clerk treasurer position, assistant clerk treasurer position. Mr. Mayor, will you present this?
Glad to. You should have your packets there. What I would like to do, since we are without a city clerk at the present time and that position is being filled by Mr. Kimmer, Mr. Wheeler, Whitney Phillips, and Debbie Taylor, is for you to consider combining a city clerk and a financial director's position. There are other cities and towns across Alabama that has this, that do not have two separate people. It is a combined job. I know Huntsville has it, Gunnersville, Enterprise, and Troy. What I would like to do is we put the city clerk's duties be shared with Mr. Wheeler as financial director. Some of his duties would then filter down to an assistant city clerk's position, also staff accountant, which is currently filled by Whitney Phillips. Since we don't have a current assistant city clerk, this would be a good time for us to maybe develop that job description and look at maybe doing something about that. I'd like for us to try this maybe for about 6 months to where we can see if it's going to work. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, then in 6 months we'll advertise for a city clerk in that position. These people, Rick and Whitney, would be compensated for the extra duties. Then if at the end of 6 months, if we decide that we want to do this and make this permanent, then the money that we would save, which would be $40,000 to $45,000 per year, that we would use that to put towards someone to do an IT person that we don't have on staff right now, whether it's a part-time or full-time basis. So it's kind of a long-range plan, long-term proposition here that I'd like you to consider. During this time, we would develop job descriptions for the city clerk / financial director, and also assistant city clerk and staff accountant. Prior to Mr. Wheeler coming on board 15 years ago now probably, we were under this top system with Ms. Duffy as the city clerk and the treasurer, and then Ms. Eleanor Shelton as the assistant city clerk, assistant treasurer. So it's something we've done in the past. I'd like for us to give it a shot, to give it a try, to see if it works. If it works, fine, we'll make it permanent. If not, we'll advertise for a city clerk in 6 months. But I appreciate Mr. Kimmer filling in, and Rick and Whitney and Debbie for doing the extra work. If we did this, we'd make it effective December 1st, try it for 6 months. During this trial period, they would be compensated for their extra duties. If we go back and do not make this permanent, then they would go back to the regular pay before we did this. As part of this, as Whitney being an assistant clerk and staff accountant, we have 3 people who are allowed to sign checks, and currently it's just Rick and myself, and so Whitney would be added. We always have to have 2 signatures on checks, and so we have 3 people who are available to sign them. So, just any questions you may have.
Anybody have any questions?
Are we going to, at the end of 6 months, are we going to evaluate?
Yes, sir.
Where we're at and which way we want to go?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that would be your decision. We'll bring it to you. We'll find out the good, the bad, and the ugly about it. We're going to do our best to see if we can make it work. Again, it's not something that's foreign to us. We've done this many years ago. There are other cities, but you know, if we don't try, we're not going to know. And if we're able to do this, then we're able to save some money to get us an IT person on board, which I think we desperately need. But yes, it would be the council's decision. We'll in the meantime develop job descriptions and duties for these 2 positions, just in case you decide to do something permanent.
And secondly, if we were to determine somewhere along the way prior to 6 months it's not working,
and we can stop it right then. Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Are there any other cities that you know of that have done this that it hasn't worked out, and why? I mean, we've got a couple that it has, but
I can probably get you more information on that. Deborah, did you find any more other than the ones I mentioned?
I checked into Albertville's, everyone that I spoke with, and I have got some emails sent out, but I haven't gotten any response.
We can get that information for you. We just currently don't have again, you know, it cuts both ways, that's for sure. And so I think if, you know, we're not going to know unless we try. If it doesn't work, it just doesn't work.
So if they're, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, you know, if you would put this on the agenda for next week for you to vote on, I'd appreciate it. Like, again, we make it effective December 1st.
That's what I was just about to ask.
Okay.
Is there any objection to putting this on the agenda for next week, from the 26th? If not, we'll put it on the agenda.
And if you have any questions between now and then, just, you can give me a call. We'll do our best to give you an answer.
The next item is a one-time additional holiday. Mr. Mayor.
This year, December 31st, it's usually not a holiday that we give as a city. We usually get January 1st. January 1st this year falls on a Tuesday. December 31st is on a Monday. We don't do this very often, but I would like to consider giving our employees an extra holiday this year at the December 31st to give them a 4-day weekend. I don't know how much work we get done after being off 2 days and coming in working a day and off another day, especially at the end of the year. So I would like for you to consider that just as a little extra benefit to our employees this year. We were not able to give them a cost of living raise in the new budget, so I'd like you to put that on the agenda for your consideration.
Is there any discussion? Any questions?
Before you go to the next thing, Mr. Stewart, I've got to slip out, and I apologize for that, but do any of you have any questions about anything else before I leave? Just about anything, since it is a work session. Okay. Again, I apologize for having to leave, but thank you for your time and for your consideration in these two things.
Thank you. The next item is a one-time pay raise. Mr. Kenner, can you cover this, please?
Traditionally, the city has given a Christmas bonus to its employees. We're not allowed to give bonuses, but we are allowed to give one-time pay raises. The recommendation would be based on years of service. For full-time employees, serving 9 years and less, $150. For employees 10 to 17 years, $300. For employees serving 18 to 24 years, $400. For employees serving over 25 years, $500. For the category full-time, part-time employees, which would be the school patrol, senior citizens coordinator, recreation night manager, recreation weekend manager, airport part-time, and animal control part-time, it is recommended that the one-time pay raise be $75. For part-time recreation employees of temporary nature who meet the criteria of 500 hours worked during the year employed as of November 30th, 2012, the amount of $50. These are roughly equivalent to what we've done for the last 7 years.
Is there any discussion? Anybody have any questions? We'll put it on next week's agenda. The next item is to announce the vacancy on the city council. What we need is a written request that will be taken through November the 30th, 2012 by 4:30 p.m. And with that, a resume, the qualifications should be attached. Turn all requests in to Debbie Taylor, the secretary to Mayor Potter. Next item is the review request for CDA board appointment. I think it's all in the packet. We had one application or one request, and it's Nathan Allen. But I don't have any discussion about this. Put it on the agenda for next week. Any questions? The next one is the holiday council meeting schedule. December the 3rd is the Christmas parade. So we're looking at, on December the 10th, having a work session and a council meeting And then on December the 17th, the work session and the council meeting. Is there any questions or discussion on this? We'll go to reports. Mr. Smith, do you have anything?
Yes, most everyone probably knows, but it's our regret to mention the passing of Frances Owing, wife and widow of Mayor Royal, who passed away a couple of days ago. I think she's had some health issues lately, but there's probably never been a finer lady living in this town than her. And she always treated all of us city employees with dignity and grace, and she's just a very special person, and we really miss her. I hope everyone will keep that, her family, in their prayers. I believe the funeral is tomorrow.
Thank you. Ms. Brady?
I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and thank you all for being here, and especially during this time of year, let's remember to buy local, shop local. Thank you.
Mr. Miller?
Carol stole mine, so happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your families. I know all will be.
Just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and have a happy Thanksgiving. And that concludes our work session. We're adjourned.